Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back. I'm back here at Gettel Chrysler Jeep Ram in Punta Gorda, Florida. And guess what? I have the 2022 Jeep Compass. Now this is the Trailhawk 4x4, my favorite trim, and I'll show you why in this video, because I'm going to take you on the complete tour of this vehicle from the exterior to the interior to underneath the hood. At the end of this video, we're going to go for a spin together. But before we do all that, do me a quick favor. If you haven't already, go to the right hand side of the video, scroll all the way down. There's a little subscribe button. It's red. So why don't you go ahead and click that, ring the bell, and now let's get back to this vehicle. Well, before we get up close and personal with this particular vehicle, let's talk about Compass for a second. So the first one was introduced in 2007, and it was basically a very, very boring vehicle. It shared the same platform as a Dodge Caliber and also as a Jeep Patriot at that time. And it was an entry level into the Jeep SUVs, which still is. But I have to tell you, through the few generations, third generation Jeep Compass right now has got nothing to do with the first one. The first one basically just a rental car. Nothing exciting about it. Now this has grew not only in size but also technology. Also all of the features that are coming in on these vehicles are new, and that basically is the difference between this and the previous gen ones. So let's take a look at the styling. So first thing you can see on the Trailhawk, on the hood itself, it does have this decal, and this decal is kind of in this matte gray color, and that prevents the sun from shining into your eyes when it's basically bouncing off the hood. You also see the Trailhawk written on the red background, which is really nice, and we're talking red. You can't miss these big recovery hooks right there. Now what's also interesting, like usually on the off-road vehicles you can see a big massive skid plate right at the bottom of it. Well, that's not the case with this one. For some reason they decided to leave this open, maybe for more air of getting into this engine, but that also leaves this area pretty vulnerable as far as hitting something and damaging the front of the engine. Now the overall design is really nice. I like the fully LED headlight unit that houses, of course, the daytime running lights, turn signals. This model also comes standard with the fog lights, nicely incorporated with this lower portion of the bumper. And of course you have the 7-slot grille that, unlike any other Jeeps, is actually closed off. So this is not open. For some reason they decided to leave it closed off. Maybe the engine doesn't need that much air going into it. But I also like how they kind of grayed out everything. So you can see that the Jeep is the gunpowder gray. This portion is the gunpowder gray, as well as this bottom portion right here. Well, let's check out the engine. Let's see what powers up this Compass. Underneath the hood, you'll find this 2.4-liter 4-cylinder naturally aspirated engine. 180 horsepower, 175 pound-feet of torque, made it to a 9-speed automatic transmission. Not a very fast vehicle. I think it's rated at about 8 seconds. Most of the people did a little bit more than that though, so I'm not sure what the real speed is, but we're going to test some of it out at the drive. Now I got to tell you, it does have the prop stick, which is a ding for me. If you ask me, it does have some sound insulation. And as far as the gas mileage, 22 in the city, 30 in the expressway, so it combines about 25. Not the greatest, but not the worst either. Look, this vehicle looks cool from the side as well. It looks small because it's only 173 inches long. Just in comparison, that is about 40 inches or close to 40 inches shorter than their largest Grand Wagoneer, which is crazy. But I like the overall design of it. I like how they continued with this cladding around the wheel wells. And look at these are kind of squared off, make it for this more rugged look. Now, as far as the wheels, now this comes standard with 17 7-inch wheels, 215, 65, not too crazy size of the tire, but you know, it's pretty knobby. It looks capable, kind of an all-season tire. Compass right on the side. It does have this trail rated 4x4 badge on the side end here, and I like how it does have this red background behind the Compass. Really nice. The same gunmetal is on top of the mirror like we've seen in the front and on the Jeep logo. It also has the turn signal that's built in here, and it does have the blind spot assist in the mirror. It comes with the smart entry system, but you do have to press the button in order to lock the vehicle. You only have to put your hand inside of it to unlock it. Again, I like how they continued with the same theme across the vehicle with this gunpowder kind of metal trim across it. You do have the pillars that are all blacked out. You do have the roof rails, and by the way, you can put the crossbars on top to make it usable, and overall looks a pretty cool design. Well, let's check it out from the back. Right, guys, doesn't it look cool? Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. I really like the lights, especially the different design than any other Jeep out there. It does have the lights that are encased in this plastic right inside of it. They're fully LED. That unit basically incorporates everything. So you have the regular taillights, you have the turn signals, you have the backup lights, and then at the bottom here you have some of the reflector lights. Top right here, you have the third brake light over here. You have a little bit of this gate spoiler. Now there's a wiper in the back, and the Jeep, of course, is embossed inside of this door panel, just like most of the other Jeeps as well. Now this particular is a Trailhawk, so you can see there's a red Trailhawk badge on the side, and you can also see this big recovery hook in the back, and then the matte black trim right here. Now there's no visible exhaust in here. That kind of prevents from it dragging if you actually are doing some off-roading. Now this one doesn't have a power lift gate. That is available as an option, but it's actually not very hard to open it manually. As you can see, all I have to do is pull it, and it does it by itself, and it stands up pretty tall. Okay, I'm 6 feet tall. I have about 2 inches before I would hit it, so even if you're taller, you have enough room. Okay, so I have to tell you, I'm surprised by how much room I have in this compact SUV. It definitely is bigger on the inside than it appears from the outside. I do have enough legroom, or knee room for that matter. I'm 6 feet tall. The front seat is adjusted to my regular driving position. I probably have about 3 inches above my head, and I have enough shoulder room. Now, when I say enough, it's enough if two of me were sitting back there. The third person would have a really hard time fitting in. But it does have some premium interior features, so let me show it to you. Check it out, guys. We're going to start with the door panel right here. I like the usage of different materials. So starting right here with this aluminum looking door handle that's wrapped around in this piano black plastic. Moving down here, you have this leather wrapped inlay with the armrest, window control, of course, a little bit of storage underneath here, and then the speaker cover. Now everything else in here is a hard plastic. Let's move inside and let's take a look at the seating areas. I gotta tell you, they look very premium for the class of this vehicle. This is a combination of leather and fabric, and it does have some contrast stitching. It does have both red and gray that kind of go with the exterior theme of this vehicle. The seats are comfortable, and if you needed an armrest, you can also pull this down. You have cup holders and a phone holder, right? So what else do we have in here? The front seat have seat back pockets, and then in the middle you have a console with the vents, USB, and the regular cigarette lighter style adapter or charger inside. You have a little bit of a hump in the back here. Let's check out the quality of this vehicle by closing its door. Actually pretty darn good. I didn't expect that. And the door panel right in front, same as the back. You have this aluminum looking door handle. You have a bunch of controls for the windows, mirrors, and locks. A little bit of storage and the speaker cover, and that's what you have in here. As far as the seats, all right, so you do have a manual adjustment. But I gotta tell you, I found my favorite position very quickly. And as far as the seats itself, same thing. You have the leather and fabric. You get the Trailhawk that's basically embroidered in here. It looks very nice and very premium, and the seats are comfortable. So let's jump inside and let's check out the rest of this interior. The interior of this 2022 Compass is definitely nothing we've seen on the first generation one. It is nice, it is premium, especially on this Trailhawk. I really like the dashboard, I like the multi-tier design. Right here you can see the top is soft vinyl kind of looking material. Love this trim. I see if I give you a close-up of it. This is kind of imitation of maybe carbon or something to that effect. It does have this red contrast stitching, and then again you have this kind of polished aluminum trim at the bottom, so very nice, very eye-pleasing. Of course you have this 10.1-inch display, and then you have your steering wheel. The steering wheel is nice to the touch. It does have some contrast stitching on it. It's just the right size. It does have a Jeep logo and a variety of buttons on both sides. Now the buttons, what's nice about it, they're not the piano black unlike pretty much everything else on this car, but I like that they didn't put most touched buttons as a piano black. So that's a nice feature. Then of course you have stalks on both sides for your lights and for your windshield wipers, etc. And take a quick overview of this instrument cluster right here. So you can see you have the speedometer on the right, the tachometer on the left, and then you can see your gas gauge, and then you see also your temperature. You see the parking gear indicator. It says P, and right on the top right corner it says run, so that means that the vehicle is running. So let's see what other features we have. So vehicle info, and then we have tire pressure here, we have the temperature, coolant temperature, we have trench temperature, we have oil temperature, voltage on the battery, and back to your tire pressure. Now we have the driver assist settings, so we can check this out. Adaptive cruise control and active lane management, these are off. You can turn those on and off if you'd like to. Let's go to the next one, fuel economy. So it tells average 21.2, then your trip info 24.6, that's more like it, but the vehicle has been idling for a while, so I think it's better than that. Stop start, not ready, cabin cooling or heating, and then audio, which is your Android Auto. It says basically, I'll show you that in just a little bit. Messages, no stored messages. Screen setup, you can do screen setup in here if you'd like to. And then the next one is settings, and then you can select different vehicle settings, and that's basically your instrument cluster. And let's move on to the infotainment system. Check this out, guys. The sun is incredibly bright, and this screen is bright as well, so I had to put some shade on top of it. Hope you can see it. So we're going to go through this instrument, or the infotainment system I should say. This is the 10.1-inch display, the newest Uconnect system, and as you can see, this is your home screen basically. So it says Android Auto, which by the way is wireless as far as the Android Auto. All right, and then you can select different options as far as the audio, radio, Bluetooth radio, etc. So your media, loading data, okay, then you have your climate control settings. This is the electronic climate control. Here's your Android Auto, basically. This is your familiar screen for Android Auto. Like I said, it is wireless. See, there's no wires connected to my phone, but the phone is connected to the vehicle. And then you have the vehicle settings, which is the next screen right here. So my profile, you can set this up, program it to the vehicle display modes, manual, auto, etc., safety and driving assistance. So check this out. Look how many different safety systems there is. There's park sense, rear park sense volume, blind spot alert, active lane management, right? Clock and date. So you can set this up, phone, Bluetooth, camera, mirrors and wipers, lights, brakes, doors, locks, key off options, audio, notifications, software updates, system information, reset, tons of features that you can play around, and there's tons of them really. The screen is very crisp, it's bright. Like I said, the only reason I had to cover it is just because the sun is incredibly bright right now, and I wanted you to see what I see. It says right there, external temperature is at 88 degrees. I think they're understating it right now. Driver one, like I said, you can set up the different drivers inside of it. And if you want to use the navigation, you have a phone, you can basically use your Google Maps or basically Apple Maps if you have an iPhone. Very nice screen. Let's take a look at the rear view camera since we're here. And Boom. I gotta tell you, it fills up the entire screen. My pet peeve with a lot of other vehicles, it's big, it's nice, it's bright, the quality is really, really good, so really no complaints about it. I don't see any of the trajectory lines, so that would be a complaint. For some reason the vehicle is in reverse and I don't see the trajectory lines. But all right, moving down in here, you can see some vents over here, and then at the bottom you have some settings. This is your volume control and the power button, so you can turn off this screen if you'd like to. And then you have several buttons as far as the climate control. You also have the mute button, screen off, tune, enter, scroll, so you can control the screen by touchscreen like I did, or you can control it through this knob if you'd like to. Select the icon that you like and push it in order to select it. And down here you have the USB-C, USB, electronic parking brake. You have several different drive modes, so you have rock, sand, mud, snow, and auto. I'll leave it in auto. There's no reason for either one of those or any of those locks. I like the shifter. I like the quality of it. I like the feel of it, the size, everything about it. It does have nice leather wrapped bottom here. And then you can select four-wheel drive low if you find yourself in a situation where you need it. You have your hill descent and four-wheel drive lock, and that's down here. Now, the only thing that I'm not too crazy about it is this piano black, but hey, if this is the only complaint that I have about this vehicle, it's not too bad. So you can see your regular gear indicator, and then you have the plus and minus, which means you can change the gears manually. All you have to do is put it in drive, move it to the side, and then you can see the plus and minus kind of illuminates in here, so you can actually do it manually. Let's put it back in park, and then you have cup holders, pretty large, and a very tiny little storage, but you do have a little bit more storage in here. So next we're going to move on to the top console. You have the regular light, okay, incandescent light, and then you have illuminated mirror on driver and passenger side. Okay, this vehicle does not have a moonroof, but I know that there are available moonroofs on the higher end trims. I'm pretty sure you can get it on the Trailhawk. Now this one is base one. The only feature that's added to the base Trailhawk package on this one is the color. And we're going to talk about the prices next. Because I pulled up the website so we can check out of what trim levels are available and what prices are there for 2022. And I gotta tell you, Jeep gives you options for everybody that wants something different. There's definitely several different trim levels that you can choose from. So it starts with the Sport, and that Sport starts at $26,785. Now, the side note, I've seen the Sport. It's basically a rental vehicle. It's very plain Jane, and you can get it in either front-wheel drive or 4x4. $26,785, that's your starting point. Now the Latitude, which I was told it's the most popular trim level, is the $29,730, and that's because it does have a lot more features than the Sport, and it's still priced under $30,000. Then you have the Altitude, that's $31,375, Latitude Lux, $32,590, Limited $34,390, Trailhawks, which is this one right here, and then we have the red at $36,185 and High Altitude at $37,085. So High Altitude is the top of the line model. $34,605 starting price on the Trailhawk. This one is just over $35,000, which is not bad at all for a vehicle, for what you get in here. Now, I'm saying not bad at all, but back in 2007 when they first came out, I remember dealers advertising, hey, Jeep Compass, $19,995, and then you have $3,000 rebates. Now, those were the days where dealers were begging you to buy the car. Now, it's kind of the other way around, but, well, let's forget about this conversation as for another time. Let's see how this vehicle drives. Check out the overall feel of this vehicle, and guess what, there's a little kind of a gravel parking lot in the back of this dealership, which I used to film some of the other vehicles there, and I can tell you, we're going to take it and see how it feels. Maybe not on the typical off-road trail because I don't have one, but there's a big puddle right here. Let's see if we can go through here. Boom. Okay, so another dip. Handles pretty darn good as far as the capability to go off-road. Now I'm in the auto mode, so it says in two-wheel drive. Turning radius. All right, let's turn it 360. Pretty cool, pretty nice, pretty tight. There's no complaints there. It actually feels pretty darn good, this 4-cylinder engine. I know I've read some reviews and a lot of people were complaining about it, that it wasn't peppy, it wasn't responsive. Now, granted, I'm in the yard here, or in the parking lot, so not much that I can do there, but actually feels pretty darn good. I'm gonna take it on the road and test it out just a little bit more. And we'll see how it goes. Okay, yeah. Well, I don't think anybody buys a little Jeep Compass to do street racing or anything like this. It is a little sluggish, to be honest with you, but it's not horrible. I mean, if you buy a small SUV, compact SUV, you're probably not going to get a lot better performance unless you go with some hybrid models that boost up that horsepower and acceleration. But this one is, I'd say, average. Okay, it's not great, but it's not horrible either. I got to tell you, the visibility out of this vehicle is pretty good. You do sit up higher, which I miss, you know, driving my work car, which is a sedan. That's definitely, I miss that, sitting up higher. Even on a small SUV like this, it makes a big difference. You can see better on the road. Now, everything is within reach. That's a nice thing about it too. Love that screen, love that new Uconnect, love how crisp it is and how responsive this screen is. Now I have it turned off right now. I can't turn it back on. If you'd like me to, go ahead. So you can see it too. Air conditioning cools down pretty nicely. Now I gotta tell you, it's 1,000,000 degrees outside, and now I know people are moving out of Florida for the summer months. So that reminds me every time summer hits, I go like, yeah, that's why the snowbirds are leaving. We're gonna turn around. Hopefully I'll have a better opportunity to go stop and up to maybe 40-50 miles per hour to see how that true acceleration is. Fuel economy, that's fairly average for the class. It's nothing outstanding, especially with a lot of the SUVs hitting over 30 miles per gallon. But overall, I gotta tell you, the look of this vehicle, I think that's a huge thing. All right, we're gonna see. Can I stop really quick? Yep, stop, go. You can see this engine is struggling a little bit. Yeah, I read one article, it says that 0 to 60 is not 8 seconds like some people claim it is, but it's more of a 9.2, 9.3 seconds. And that's definitely feels like it. So if you're looking for performance, definitely look elsewhere. But if you're looking for a cool SUV to drive around town, that's probably going to be a very good one to look at. Also, I haven't checked the off-road capabilities, but it is trail rated, and I gotta tell you, Jeep doesn't just put that badge on everything that they make. They actually test it, and they test the articulation, they take the approach and departure angles, test the overall ability to handle itself in terrain. Now, this is maybe not like a rock crawling trail rated, but I'm pretty sure that you can get yourself out of snow or mud, and that's what most people would use this vehicle just in the regular everyday driving situations. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope I brought some value into your life by reviewing this vehicle. I hope you liked it, and if you did, do me a favor, give me the like, hit that subscribe button, and ring that bell so you won't miss any of the videos. And I do post twice a week, and I don't want you to miss any of those. Thank you very much again, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.